Hi guys, it's Bob from Gecko Models. Welcome back to the channel. And I thought we'd better do a little bit of a progress report on the RAM. The Gecko 1/35 RAM Kangaroo Mark II late production. God, I remembered all of that off the top of my head. Well, that's good news. Anyway, yes, so we made a start because I really couldn't not make a start. If you watched my last video, I was so excited about that kit. Literally, it was like Christmas morning. I pretty much pulled it apart as soon as I got it on the bench. It's, yeah, really nice kit. So far, it's going together lovely. And have a look. But before we do that, one of the things I wanted to say was I noticed on the videos when I played them back that the instructions are sort of out of focus. I've got to sort that out, and hopefully on the next video I'll have solved that problem. But in the meantime, let's get over to the bench and let's see what we've been doing. Right, so the first thing to do is really identify all the parts that need to go in on the internal bits and get them into some sort of white primer or white. I will do them in white primer. I'll whack the primer of choice, which is going to be my Mr. Finishing Surface of 1500 white. That'll be my primer for the inside anyway. So now what I'm going to do is prep a lot of these parts with white primer, including things like the seat that's going to be khaki. The white primer is going to be great. So white primer the whole lot, and then I'm going to decide the method of wear that I'm going to use on the inside floors. You know, where the troops are going to be stood with their hobnail boots on, all that sort of thing. So we get all of those primed in white, all of the transmission bits primed in white, even though some of the parts are black. And then we look at the bulkhead, this sort of thing, and get all of that done in white. I'm really just preparing all of that section right up to page 12 basically. So all of that will be primarily in white and then weathered accordingly. The next stage will be to do the engine. So the first thing I'm going to do is get all the parts together up to about part 12 and get those all primed in white. So I'll go off and do that, and I'll be back in a moment. So one of the things I noticed with the base panel here was, let me get something to point with. So we've got a number of little sink marks. So I've dealt with those in different ways. This one here, I put a little Mr. Surface of 500 stuff, you know, to fill that and see that, but it actually started to sink away. So I right, okay, I'll try a different method with the others. So these small discs of 10 thou card, which I've put in there, give them time to set off, and then they can be either backfilled with a little bit of Mr. Surfacer if it needs a little bit more. But once they're in place, then obviously they can be sanded flush. But it's a bit disappointing really, but I've got a funny feeling most of these won't be seen anyway. But anyway, that's how I dealt with them. So move swiftly on. Okay, so basically made a start, and I think the first thing to do is to show you this section here, this section. Let's get the drawings into place. Right, so this is section A. So I've got that in place, including the bracket that holds the fire extinguishers. So I've got all of that in place, that part in there. So that's that part. This side, so we've got this side done. It's fairly straightforward with that part on there. So we've got that done. The chair assembly, we've got that done. That's sitting there. That's ready to go to paint. I'll put it onto this bit of double-sided tape, and that holds it, and I can paint the whole thing. The next bit is quite a complicated section. So this is the base, or the inside of, the inner hull, and got all of that all together now. Turn the page over, and all of these parts. I haven't got that, which is the gunner's seat, as far as I can tell. I haven't got that in place, but obviously I've got that transmission tunnel in place. The gunner's seat I'm gonna paint separately, so that's those two. Going on to the transmission, so I've got all of that assembled now. I have got a question on this here. I've seen it somewhere. I think it was in a Sherman build where that's actually yellow. Is that like I don't know if it's an oil filter or something of that description. But anyway, that's that. The part there which is in flat black, I've got separately there, ready to paint. And also I have this section here, which goes on here. I've got that separately, so that's going to be painted separately and then put on there. Going back to the beginning, I've actually primed the fire extinguishers already. I had some primer and I blatted those straight away. And then the next page, so page 8 and 9. Oh, come here. So we've got all of this assembled in place, and that's all ready for paint. The brass etch parts they're already primed with the metal primer. And so the next bit, I think I may have mentioned previously that I was going to paint everything on the inside with a white primer. I've changed my mind on that, mainly because I want to do something a little bit different. So I'm gonna prime everything in black, as is my normal method, and then I'll go over the top of it with a white, and that way the white, it'll act like a pre-shading, and then when I get the white on there, obviously that will tone the black down, and we'll do something a little bit different with that. So that's all ready for paint, so that's all going off the paint now. So I'll be back with you very shortly. Okay, so excuse me. Right, so we did some with white. What I wanted was a sort of dirty white. I didn't want a bright, going to the dentist surgery white sort of thing. So what I did a mix. I got 3 lots of Vallejo paint. So I got the 71001, which is the white, and then I added to this mix. Let's try and get that in focus. A 70989, which is this sky grey. I only added a couple of 3 drops of that as a ratio,
just really wanted to tone the whiteness of the white down, if you know what I mean. And then I added a little bit of 70820, which is their off-white. And unfortunately I used the last that I had. And then I added about the same amount of thinner as I had paint. So I thinned it down quite considerably. But instead of the off-white, I think on the next mix I might have to top up with maybe ivory or something like that. But I'm not sure about the ivory because it's got a yellow tinge to it, and I don't really want it to be yellow. So I might have to order some off-white. Anyway, that was the mix of paint. So obviously it's thinned fairly well, and the upshot of it was that obviously I've got areas here that are white but not bright white, and I've got that sort of finish that I quite like, that I really wanted. So like the transmission here, even though it's white, there's an element of dirt and darkness there, and then once I get some weathering on it and all of that sort of thing, I think it's going to come out really well. If I'm not happy with it, I might blast over it with another bit of white and brighten it up a bit more first and take it back down, sort of thing. I hope you sort of understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so the inside wall here on the side panel, as you can tell, it's sort of like little sort of blotchy, if you like. I don't like the word, but you know what I mean. It's sort of, this side as well. It's sort of, it's white without being white, and that's the look that I wanted. And the same with the floor. So I've got the floor on with all the pedals and all of that, and then blasted that with the same mix, and made sure I had it on a low pressure and a local sort of amount of paint. So I was only sort of spraying small areas of the paint, so that I got this sort of inconsistent colour. And then once I start to put the rest of this together, then obviously some of these things can be picked out. With you've got the sort of operating levers there, they've got black handles, and the pedals there, which will be obviously sort of worn away. And then you've got all the sort of the weathering to go into the front of the hole there where the driver and the gunner sit. And then we've got elements of weathering to go onto the floor and also onto this transmission tunnel as well. So that's where we are, a couple of days into the build. I think this is a really, really nice kit. And to be perfectly honest with you, I bought another one. Oh dear. I've got to that stage where I'm not buying any more kits. You've been there? But yeah, I bought another one, but not this one. I bought the flamethrower version. So that'll be coming later on in the year. But, oh well, it's only money. Can't take it with you. Anyway, enough of me waffling on. Thanks for watching. I hope that sort of gives you an idea of what the kit's like to start with. I would suggest if you can get hold of one if you want to build one, because I'm really enjoying this build, and I think it's a really nice thing. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to show you. Where's it gone? Oh yeah. Might as well show you that while I'm here. And that's the driver's seat. So that's almost the only part so far that's sort of almost finished. But anyway, enough of that. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please put your comments below, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.